Imagine this. Deep beneath the shifting sands of a forgotten desert, a team of archaeologists unearths the impossible. Not a tomb, not a trove of gold, but something far more baffling. A device. Intricately carved from a metal unknown to modern science, it resembles a clock. But the carvings depict constellations that haven't graced our skies for millennia, and carbon dating. Well, the results are simply nonsensical. The clock appears to be older than the very concept of civilization itself. Older than agriculture. Older than writing. The team, led by the brilliant but obsessive Dr. Eris Thorne, is stumped. It's a paradox, an object that shouldn't exist. They transport it to their secure research facility, a gleaming monument to modern knowledge, where this ancient anomaly now sits in silent judgment. For weeks, it does nothing. It's just a beautiful, frustrating puzzle. Some on the team call it the first clock, others Kronos' folly. Thorne, however, feels a strange connection to it, a pull he can't explain. He spends his nights poring over ancient texts, searching for any mention, any whisper of a device that predates history. Then, one rainy Tuesday, without warning, it happens. A soft, almost imperceptible sound fills the lab, a single, resonant tick. It's a sound that seems to vibrate not in the air, but in the very bones of everyone present. And as the clock ticks again, a second later, they all feel it. A subtle, molasses-like drag on reality. A dropped pen seems to hesitate before hitting the floor. The steam from a coffee mug hangs in the air, suspended. Time itself is slowing down. At first, it's a scientific marvel. The discovery of a lifetime. They could rewrite physics. The team is ecstatic, their names destined for history books. They set up high-speed cameras, atomic sensors, every piece of equipment they have, trying to measure and understand this temporal distortion field. The clock ticks, and the world outside the lab's influence continues at its normal pace, while inside, seconds stretch into minutes. They are in a bubble of slow time, a pocket dimension created by this impossible machine. But the euphoria is short-lived. That very night, reports start trickling in from around the globe. Strange, isolated incidents at first, easily dismissed. A security guard at a morgue in London swears he saw a corpse sit up. In a centuries-old cemetery in New Orleans, locals report shadowy figures moving between the tombstones. In a quiet hospital in Tokyo, a patient who had been pronounced dead hours earlier suddenly begins to breathe again. These are just whispers on the internet, ghost stories for the digital age. No one connects the dots. No one could. Back in the lab, the clock continues its steady, inexorable rhythm. Tick, tock, and with each beat, the effect intensifies. The team notices something else, something far more disturbing than the slowing of time. A feeling, a sense of being watched, not by anyone in the room, but by memories. Whispers seem to echo from the silent corridors, faces flicker at the edge of their vision. It's as if the past itself is bleeding through the cracks of the present. Dr. Thorne, increasingly gaunt and sleep-deprived, is the first to truly understand. He's found a fragmented reference in a scorched Sumerian tablet, a text that speaks of a heartbeat of the earth that, when awakened, would unwind the spool of endings and grant memory to the dust. It wasn't just slowing time, it was reversing something fundamental. It was erasing the boundary between life and death. The realization dawns with chilling horror. The clock isn't just a clock, it's a beacon, a resonator, and with every tick, it sends a pulse through the fabric of reality, a signal that echoes in every cell that has ever lived. It's not reanimating the dead in a grotesque, monstrous way. It's far more insidious. It's reminding them. It's broadcasting the forgotten knowledge of movement, of breath, of thought, back into the silent clay. The dead are not rising as zombies. They are remembering how to live. The news reports are no longer whispers. They are a global scream. It's happening everywhere. In cemeteries, funeral homes, ancient battlefields, hospital morgues. The recently departed are sitting up, their eyes opening with a vacant, dawning awareness. The long buried are pushing their way through the soil, driven by a primal, newly remembered instinct to move. They aren't hostile, not yet. They are confused, like waking from a long and dreamless sleep. A world of 7 billion living people is suddenly faced with the prospect of countless billions of newcomers. Chaos erupts. Governments don't know how to respond. How do you fight your own resurrected grandmother? What laws apply to a Roman legionnaire who just clawed his way out of the earth beneath a vineyard in Italy? Society begins to fracture under the sheer weight of this impossible reality. In the lab, a bubble of slow-motion horror, the team is trapped. The outside world, which they can see on frantic news feeds, is descending into madness. They know they are the cause. This clock, their greatest discovery, is the instrument of the world's end. They have to turn it off. But how? It has no buttons, no switches, no visible power source. It just runs. They try everything, smashing it with sledgehammers which bounce off its surface without a scratch, cutting it with diamond-tipped saws that shatter on contact. They are prisoners of their own discovery, forced to watch the apocalypse they unleashed in agonizing slow motion. Dr. Thorne, staring at the clock, at the intricate, swirling patterns that seem to mock him, knows what he must do. The tablet spoke of the heartbeat of the earth, and how only a silent heart could still its pulse. The answer wasn't about destroying the clock, it was about sacrifice. It was about introducing a paradox the clock couldn't resolve. With the world outside their slow time bubble crumbling, Thorne makes a decision. He grabs a heavy, pointed instrument from their geological tools. His team watches, their movements syrupy and drawn out, as he stands before the ancient device. He looks at his colleagues, a silent apology in his eyes. Then, as the clock emits its next world-altering tick, he acts. He doesn't strike the clock. He strikes himself, plunging the tool into his own chest. In the fraction of a second that it takes for his life to end, time shatters. For an instant, two conflicting states exist in the same space, a life being ended within a field that unwinds endings. The paradox is absolute. The intricate carvings on the clock flare with a blinding, silent light. The rhythmic ticking falters, stutters, and stops. Silence. The oppressive weight on reality lifts. The pen on the floor clatters normally. The steam from the coffee dissipates. Time in the lab snaps back into sync with the rest of the world. And all at once, the global phenomenon ceases. The resurrected fall still, their borrowed memory gone. The dust settles. The world is saved. But in a silent laboratory, a team of shell-shocked scientists stands over the body of their leader. And on the floor, next to Dr. Thorne, lies the first clock. It is dormant, inactive, but it is not broken, and they are left with the terrifying knowledge of what they found and the chilling question: what happens if, somewhere in the deep future, someone else finds a way to wind it up again? Thank you so much for watching. This story was a wild ride, and if you enjoyed diving into this strange, temporal mystery, please hit that like button and subscribe for more tales that twist the fabric of reality. Let me know in the comments what you would do if you found a clock that could turn back time or death. Stay curious, and we'll see you in the next video.